Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I am a success business mentor to female entrepreneurs and small business owners who want to be working on their business and no longer in it. Success, but on their own terms. Today at the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, it is my privilege to be interviewing Sharleen Cobourne. At 25, Sharleen had already experienced birth, marriage, and death. Most people around her were having very definite ideas of where her life should be going, and she would always put herself under pressure to live up to their expectations. That is, until she had the confidence to be true to herself and choose to live an authentic life. She now has set up her own business where she creates luxury fruit and vegetable buffets for high-end events and occasions. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Sharleen. How are you?
Hi, Agnes. I'm feeling great today. Thank you very much. I just want to thank you, for inviting me onto your show. It's really wonderful.
We met at a networking event, and I heard bits of your story, and I immediately knew that you would be one of my guests. So thank you for having accepted to be here. Tell us more about you or your journey. Just start wherever you want.
Okay, well, it's interesting actually. When you asked me to come on here, I really immediately loved the title, but it's always like a humbling sort of feeling when people ask me to do things, because obviously when you live through something is one thing, but when you hear yourself talk about it or you hear how people react to you, you kind of think, yeah, I've come a long way. You feel, it's just really a great feeling. Just thinking back, as I heard you just doing the little, bio there, just thinking back to, how I used to feel, because, my first experience was, having my son, when I was 14, which obviously was, really young, very unexpected for my family. We were a really close family. And, it was a lot of pressure because I think people did immediately put me into a category. They thought they knew how my life was going to go. But I just kept surprising them, I kept really, I always pushed the boundaries, always wanted more. And
so from there, it must be indeed quite challenging to have a son at 14. How did that work out for you? I mean, how did you manage to be a very young mom and move forward in your life? Was there still room for you as a person back then? Or how did that unfold?
Well, I'd say, thankfully, my son's father and I, we remained together. We was together probably for a further 13 years. And we did actually get married in that time as well. So even though it was so young to, experience that, I was really thankful that, we stayed together, tried to move forward with our lives, and as I say, I was an only child. So I suppose that was fortunate in that respect that, my family were there for me. I was probably quite a spoilt child, some would say. So, really and truly, yes, it was very, it was a very, very, hectic time, but I was thankful for the support system that I actually did have.
Yeah, I can imagine that does make a lot of difference. So you've been raising your child, and I must say that it's very impressive that you stayed 13 years with the father of your son when all of it happened at such a young age, because quite often it means it's the end of a story. So yeah, that as such is already very impressive. So how did your life further unfold? How did you started working? How did things go for you?
Yeah, I think, on the surface, things, seemed, like I say, we were managing, we were getting through. I moved out of home when I was 19. We lived together. He always worked. He was a real man's man. He took charge of things. I always worked part-time and, was very much an at-home mum. But, I'd work part-time so that, I could have my own money to do, the things that I wanted to do. So, on the surface, things were going pretty well. But, unfortunately, I guess for my husband, he had a lot of issues just sort of concerning his upbringing, the relationship he had with his family. And I just think as we got older, these just became more apparent. So, the next thing, what we experienced was his passing. He took his own life when I was 25.
Wow.
And, what else can I say? It was just like the biggest impact that I'd ever experienced. But, amazingly, I think probably because of the foundation that I had in my own family, obviously once I grieved and, struggled with a lot of things, I was able to move forward. And I've used that experience as a stepping stone to everything that's come after.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that at such a young age, life has thrown to you experiences that have been shaping who you have become. But it would have been easy, because you were so young, to stay in that place, and you didn't. So what is it that shifted, that you made you become conscious that this is something that you didn't want anymore?
Yeah, I think it's interesting actually as you use the word conscious, because I think for a long, long time I was unconscious of what I was doing. Things were just happening around me. And I was just dealing with it as it were. So you sort of on autopilot. As I say, people had expectations of me at that time as well. Everybody expected me to, like, oh, you're so strong, oh, you're coping so well, when sometimes you do just want to fall apart. But there wasn't any room to, which I suppose in a way I'm thankful for. But, I had no space to kind of really fall apart, because everybody just put this big expectation on me that I was going to be okay. I guess because that's what they were comfortable with me doing as well, Of
course. Otherwise it would be scary for them.
Exactly. So, but so yeah, it was, I think I was on autopilot for a long time.
So is it your husband passing away that was the catalyst that somehow made you realize that you didn't want that anymore? Or did it happen afterwards and in appearance not related?
Yeah, it's funny because obviously you would expect, I guess such a major event like that to be the catalyst. But, fast forward, like 13 years, when I had my twins, when I got pregnant with my twins, that was when there was a shift. There was a major shift that I was actually conscious of. And that is only been from then, I can honestly say, my life, things really took off, not just, financially or in my business or in my life, it was just, everything just came together. I think I just really just became one with who I really was. So, it's a process, isn't it?
Of course, you don't wake up one day.
Yeah.
Well, I would say what is the defining moment, but in fact, of course, it's a process.
Exactly, it comes in degrees, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And so, what is it that you became conscious of that wasn't okay for you anymore?
I think what I became conscious of was like making my own decisions, because I think from that young age, being in that relationship, because he was a bit older than me, he was about 4 years older than me. And, looking back, he was very, dominant, very, as I say, very much a man's man. He was in charge, and, my family always had a lot to say about what I did or where I should go. And, this kind of thing. And I just think at that point, when I got pregnant with the twins, that was when I was able to search myself and make the decision that was right for me. Because again, I had people around me that were saying, oh, you're just getting your life together. Why would you want to have why would you want to go through this pregnancy? The guy that you're seeing, he doesn't want to know. Why are you going to set yourself back? It was kind of a lot of negative chatter was going on around me. And I was really scared, because, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to, get it wrong. I don't want to fall apart. I was thinking all of these things, but there was something so deep inside me that just wanted to just go. I just did not want to, terminate that pregnancy. It was just so strong. And as soon as I was able to connect with that emotion, everything changed. Everything changed.
So everything fell into place.
It did.
Yeah.
It really, really did.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I don't know, had I gone the other way, I really don't know if I could have made it, because there was just something that represented that I had to connect with at that moment, so.
When you mentioned that you wanted to be true to yourself, a lot of people will have that at some point. Usually for a long time we don't have it, but then at some point. So how did you find out what being true to yourself was?
Oh my gosh. How did I find out? I think it just sort of comes back to, drowning out the noise, drowning out the noise and just connecting with that part of you that you can't even, I don't even know what to call it, but I like to say it's like the divine part of you, that I think each and every one of us possess, because I describe it like a lot of times things will happen and we use logic, we'll look at our past experiences, we'll look at everything going on around you and you'll make a logical decision, but then there's other decisions that make absolutely no sense, but you just have a feeling so strong inside. And I think it's that difference between having the confidence to go with that as opposed to using logic and make a decision. And I think it does take real confidence and
courage and faith.
Definitely. So that's what I think, all of those things came together for me at that moment. And it was just amazing. Really was.
So if I go back to what you were saying, 25, then 13, so 38 more or less?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so just to put things in perspective in your life, because that does help listeners who believe that, nothing is possible, etc. Or at least it's the limiting beliefs they have. Were you already running your business then?
I'd had multiple business, because what happened, I think when my husband passed, I think what happened then was I just began to, I suppose, appreciate life more and just realizing the importance of, living your life, as true as you can. And, I was on that quest. And I think for 5 years, I continued in my job. And then when I got to 30, that was when I decided I was done with 9 to 5. That I had to, take charge of my destiny. And so from, along the way, I've done many different business. I've started many different business, but, amazingly, and I'm very thankful that I have managed to stay out of conventional 9 to 5 all that time. I've lived abroad for, a period of time. I lived in the Caribbean for, almost 5 years. I married again, then had my second son, so it's a colourful journey, it's been very colourful, but I cannot say I regret anything. Everything has served a purpose to bring me to this point,
And so, because I really love what you're doing, you showed me pictures of your work, and that's so. When did you start that business?
So I started that business after I had the twins. And again, it was just because I say, the process of having the twins, as I said, it was really, difficult. Because, I literally had nothing, I was just like, this was just the worst time it could happen, the worst situation. But I just knew that, I just had to pray, I just need something. Give me something that I could do. Whatever you bless me with, I'm going to, just I just want to shine and just show that this is what happens when you have faith. You know, this is what happens when you have faith. And I just started, you know, I had a conversation with a lady. She had made a suggestion, and, you know, I looked on this website, and this lady was making some fruit bouquets and what have you, with chocolate covered strawberries and this kind of thing. And it just started to bring all these thoughts into my mind. I mean, like, I'd be asleep at night and wake up and think about these fruit designs. I'd draw pictures, write down, and, you know, it was just really strange what was happening. And it got to Mother's Day, and I thought, right, I'm going to make something for my mum. I made it, put it on Facebook. And the amount of people that inboxed me, I thought, like, really? Is that how easily you've just put this into my
I have something there.
It was just crazy. And, like, you know, and that is literally how the business got birthed. You know, it was just such a natural thing. And as I say, it was just all based on faith, you know, because I was just like, you know, I'm here, use me, you know, this, you know, my heart, you know my heart. And I just call my business divine, because when I tell people, they'd be like, oh my gosh, like, is that really what happened? And I'm like, really, that's what happened, you know? So it's just been amazing.
Tell us more about what it is you do, because just saying fruit, I mean, or vegetables is, I've seen the pictures. It's just amazing. And I want to eat it. Tell us more, describe more what you do.
So the aim for everything that I do, as I say, I will consult with a client, just want to know about the theme of their event, maybe a color scheme, and then I will just create a buffet in line with that. So the aim is to create something very decorative, attractive, and beautiful, but still everything is to be eaten, because I'm really passionate about healthy eating. You know, your health is your true wealth at the end of the day. And so, you know, because some people would be like, oh, you know, you should do sculptures and all this. But, you know, when you see a sculpted bird out of fruit, the last thing you're going to do is eat it. You know, it's something to be admired. But I just wanted to create something that would create interest, people could admire, but also they wouldn't be afraid to eat. So that has sort of been the premise behind what we do. So.
Excellent. While we're at it, where can people find you?
Okay, so on Facebook, which is, like I say, my biggest platform, that my page is called First Fruit. You go on there, you'll find all my pictures, you know how to contact me. You can email me at Sharleen@firstfruit.co.uk. And my website, which is being revamped at the moment, is www.firstfruit.co.uk.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So I think that overall we understand the type of business you're in and what type of clients you're looking for. So and where people can find you. So I would say to that extent that we've covered that. So coming back to your journey, you definitely have had a challenging journey, like a lot of us have, not necessarily the same circumstances, but it's always a very good reminder to say you're not alone in there. We all face things. Life does stand in a way. What would be your, if you would have to give a top 3 tips for going through, and when I say 3, it can be 5 if you want to, the tips you would give for people who are at crossroads or who are undergoing difficult circumstances and who have this feeling that maybe there is no other side. What would you tell them?
Definitely, I would say, I don't know if this would come under a tip, but it's just, the way I feel about, living. Like, I believe that life speaks to you. There is a language that is your life. I believe, often it's like a foreign language. It's like somebody speaking to you in Japanese, because we don't take time to slow down to listen to what life is telling you. Because I'm sure all of us, we will look back at different times and see when we had clear signal. The signpost was there, go left.
We just didn't. Yeah.
Go right, and I think it's just so important to get in tune to that language, get in tune to that sound, because as soon as you find it, you experience a flow that, again, as I say, you can't even articulate. But whenever I talk to people about this, they immediately know what I'm talking about. You know, but what I find, but it's not a constant, you know, it's in and out. Sometimes you'll be in the flow and then you come out of the flow, you know, you go in, you go out. But, you know, the aim is to just get into that flow, you know, listen to that inner part of yourself, you know, the instincts that sometimes make no sense. You know, there is no, you know, it just doesn't make any sense compared to what you can see. But it's just, you know, something that's going on a deeper level. So, yeah, first tip, you know, get in tune with your life, get into that rhythm, you know, get into that rhythm so you can experience that flow. You know, that would be my number one.
Which in essence also comes back to you saying that don't rush through your life, be more mindful, be more in the present, so that you can slow down, because then you can observe more.
Definitely, without a doubt, it's just amazing because, as I say, like, you know, you see me here, I'm a single mom, I have 4 children, you know, my second son has Down syndrome, you know, but I can honestly say I'm experiencing the best time of my life right now. I'm experiencing, and it's, you know, I could never think that, you know, it would be so. It doesn't mean everything's perfect, but the joy that I feel, I couldn't, you know, I couldn't pay for it, you know. So yeah,
I'm with you.
Definitely, it's just amazing, you know, how things turn out. You know, I didn't think this was going to be my life. You know, when I was 14, had my son, got married. You know, we got married in the Bahamas. You know, we had so much promise. You know, so much was what was in front of us, and then everything changed. You know, my second tip, though, think that being adaptable.
Oh, yes.
Change is the only constant that, you know, that is guaranteed wherever we are. You know, we're at the, you know, the mountaintop, wherever in the valley, things will change. And you've got to know how to adapt. You know, I thank God that, you know, how we're created, we do have the ability. You know, there isn't any reason why we can't adapt, but sometimes we get so set, you know, where we are, things change and it breaks us. You know, you want to be flexible so that, you know, when it's windy, we can, you know,
yeah, love that.
We can say.
Definitely a very good tip. Yes, absolutely. Any other one you want to add?
I would probably say pray. I think, you know, for me, praying is fundamental. You know, whatever your belief is, you know, I think you know, surely, you know, the majority of us are conscious of a higher force, you know, something else that is at work. And I would just encourage, you know, talk to that, you know, talk to that energy, talk to that force, you know.
Yeah, whatever you call it, talk to it.
Whatever you call it, definitely. Being daily communication, you know, because it's not, you know, like I don't go to church, you know, because this is something daily. I'm in daily communication because, you know, every day things are set to try us. You know, we need to top up daily with that good source of energy, you know. You know, I believe that none of us were created by accident or by mistake. We may make accidents, but, you know, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, we are not a mistake. And, you know,
love it.
Yeah, definitely. We're here to do great things, you know.
I love it. Sharleen, thank you so much. This really was enjoyable, very insightful as well. I think it definitely also shows possibilities. Don't give up. So for the viewers, if you want to find out how I can help you go through those ups and downs in life and take back the ownership of your life, step into the driver's seat of your life so that you can shape the life that you want for yourself, and experience that joy that Sharleen so beautifully displays to us and has at the center of her life as well. You can book a discovery consultation with me, a complimentary discovery consultation, by going at agnesvanrhijn.com, and that is www.agnesvanrhijn.com. Sharleen, thank you again, and I'll hope to see you soon. Let's meet again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agnes.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.